huwag kang lilingon. If you're listening to this in the dark right now, check the reflection on your phone screen. Naniniwala ang mga matatanda sa Binondo that the heavy air you feel in your chest isn't just humidity. It's the weight of those who were never given a proper burial. Since 1594, this district has been a liminal space. Isang lugar na laging nasa gitna ng mundo ng mga buhay at ng mga hindi makaalis. Tonight, the frequency is open for them. Maligayang gabi, isara ang mga bintana, patayin ang ilaw, hinaan ang paligid, pero itaas ang volume. Welcome back to Radyo Anino. Tonight, we are unearthing the shadows of the world's oldest Chinatown. Ang lugar kung saan ang bawat sulok ay may kwentong ayaw magpahinga. Stay on the frequency. And whatever you do, huwag kayong lilingon. Bago tayo lumalim, a quick reminder. Ang mga kwentong ibabahagi namin tonight were gathered from old archives, local residents, historians, and shared accounts from drivers and security guards who worked the night shift in the district. Some are documented tragedies, yung iba naman, urban legends na nagpasalin-salin na sa bawat henerasyon. We can't verify every shadow, but they are all part of the restless history of this place. If you enjoy these deep dives into the dark side of our heritage, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated on our next frequency. So, let's begin. Step into the narrow alleys and listen to what the walls are whispering. Welcome to Radio Anino. The Trap in Carvajal Street, August 2nd, 2024. Hindi pa sumisikat ang araw sa Carvajal Street pero ang init ay hindi na galing sa mga oven ng bakery sa ibaba. 11 people are trapped in the dark of the Pinko building. This happened just weeks before the start of the ghost month. In the heart of Binondo, the smoke is already thick, filling the mezzanine and the upper floors where people are still in their beds. They are clawing at the windows, but there is no way out. The windows are fitted with heavy iron grills, welded shut to keep the world out. But now, sila ang nagpapanatili ng kamatayan sa loob. Fire investigators would later find them there, suffocated by the smoke bago pa man sila maabot ng apoy. The fire exit was blocked by a tarpaulin, and the hallways were cramped with bakery equipment. It was a trap. In the oldest Chinatown in the world, death does not always come from the outside. Sometimes, it is built into the very walls of the room where you sleep. 6 centuries of blood. Binondo is a place where the living and the dead have been forced into the same tight spaces for over 400 years. When you walk down Ongpin or Escolta, you are walking on layers of trauma that date back to 1594. Locals describe a specific kind of heavy air here, a thickness that you can feel in your chest. Hindi lang ito dahil sa polusyon o sa lagkit ng panahon. It is the weight of the blood-soaked ground. Between the 1600s and the 1800s, there were 6 major Chinese massacres in this area. In 1603 alone, the Spanish and their allies slaughtered between 15,000 and 25,000 Chinese residents. The aftermath was so devastating that by 1605, officials from China dismissed the dead as deserters of their ancestors. But even if they were dismissed by history, their energy remained trapped in the soil. Ang lupang kinatatayuan mo ngayon was once soaked in the blood of thousands who were never given a proper burial. The Midnight Passenger. There is a specific street in the old district kung saan ang mga Grab at Angkas riders are known to cancel bookings after midnight. They call it proximity horror. It is the terror of realizing that you are not alone in an enclosed space. Isang driver ang nakaranas nito when he picked up a passenger named Sam Andrew Lee near the midnight hour. As Sam sat in the back, he noticed another figure already seated beside him. Akala niya ay nagkamali siya ng booking at nakasabay siya sa isang shared ride. He asked the driver why there was another person in the car. The driver went pale. He whispered that when he picked Sam up, emptying back seat, Sam looked again and the figure was gone. But minutes later, it reappeared in the corner of his eye. Sam took a selfie to prove he wasn't just tired, but when he looked at the screen, the entity was right there, staring directly into the camera lens with hollow eyes. The driver was so shaken he had to end the trip early near his own house just to feel safe. He didn't even ask for the fare. He just wanted the passenger and whatever was sitting next to him out of his car. Commuters of the afterlife. This is the reality of Binondo and the neighboring streets of San Nicolas. The ghosts here do not just haunt buildings. They ride in your cars. They stand behind you in the elevator. In another account, a driver picked up 5 students bound for Ateneo de Manila. When they arrived, 5 people had been in the car the whole way, but only 4 got out. The 5th passenger simply vanished into the upholstery habang nakakandado pa ang pinto. Later, that same driver took a woman to Antipolo. When they reached the house, the woman's mother came out and paid the fare of 260 pesos. But when the driver turned around to let the passenger out, the back seat was empty. The mother didn't even look surprised. Sabi lang niya, "Pasensya ka na, driver, ganyan talaga siya." These spirits are so integrated into the daily commute that they have become part of the traffic. They are the commuters of the afterlife, looking for a way back to a home that no longer exists. The pavement of the dead. The smell of old, wet stone shouldn't be coming from the floor of a modern church, but in Binondo, the past is literally used as pavement. If you look closely at the stones outside the Binondo Church, makikita mo ang tinatawag ng mga matatanda na Piedra China. These are actually broken pieces of Chinese tombstones from a cemetery that was erased in the early 20th century. When the priests reclaimed the church as a Filipino parish, they removed the Chinese markers and used them to pave the ground. Worshippers today are walking over the names of the forgotten. Only one large tombstone remains visible, belonging to Dionisio Cocua from 1722, but even his name was deliberately erased. It is a symbolic silencing. Sa tradisyong Filipino at Chino, a spirit whose grave is desecrated can never truly rest. They become the hungry ghosts that haunt the peripheries of our vision, waiting for someone to acknowledge that they once existed. The territorial ghost of Escolta. Imagine being a security guard at the Manila Chinese cemetery. It is a quiet Tuesday night, and the moon is hidden behind thick clouds. As you do your rounds, you walk past a massive 2-story mausoleum that looks more like a luxury villa than a tomb. It has air conditioning units, a fully equipped kitchen, and plush sofas. Suddenly, you hear a sound coming from inside. It is the distinct, rhythmic clacking of mahjong tiles. You know for a fact that the building is locked and the family is not there. You peek through the window and nakikita mo ang mga tiles na gumagalaw mag-isa. Security guards working the night shift in the heritage buildings of Escolta report things that shouldn't be possible in a modern city. At Casa Manila, the hauntings are physical. Isang janitor na naglilinis sa dining room saw a bearded European man in a frock coat glide past him. The figure made no sound and was cut off at the knees, floating on the air. Another employee was snapping in the museum shop when she felt a cold hand grip her thigh. She woke up to see that same bearded man staring at her with deep-set, angry eyes. When she tried to scream, he grabbed her throat. He wasn't just a ghost, he was territorial. He scolded her in a language she couldn't understand, but the message was clear. Space in Binondo is so limited that kahit ang mga patay refuse to share their furniture. The suicide loop. They call it the suicide loop. During the construction of the heritage sites in the 1980s, workers would hear footsteps going up to the roof garden late at night. Then, they would hear the sickening sound of a body hitting the granite pavement. When they ran to help, expecting to find a broken body, there was no one there. But seconds later, the footsteps would start again, going back up the stairs. It is a replaying of a death that refuses to end. Sa Escolta, at the First United Building, a white lady is seen every November 1st, descending the grand staircase and vanishing into the walls of an old office. At the Civils building nearby, tenants hear the laughter of children playing in hallways that have been abandoned for decades. These are not just memories. These are echoes of lives cut short, trapped in a loop of their final moments. The Survival Guide, Wag Lilingon. Check the reflection on your phone screen right now. If you are listening to this in the dark, you are naively breaking the rules of the district. In Binondo, there is a survival guide of wag gagawin, or things you must not do, especially during the ghost month. Never whistle at night. The frequency of a human whistle is said to mimic the sounds that ghosts use to communicate. When you whistle in the dark, you are not just making noise. You are sending out an invitation. Binibigyan mo ng signal ang mga wandering spirits of the 1600 massacres na nandyan ka, and that they are welcome to follow you home. And whatever you do not sweep the floor at night if you are near a place of death. It is believed that sweeping after dark offends the spirits of the ancestors. During a wake, sweeping is seen as a way of banishing the spirit of the deceased before they are ready to leave. This is why the practice of pagpag is so vital. If you visit a place with a heavy history like Binondo, you must never go straight home. Stop at a convenience store first to shake off the spirit. You need to confuse the entity so it doesn't follow you into your bedroom. Listen to the room you are in right now. Kung diretso uwi ka pagkatapos mong bumisita sa isang lugar tulad ng Ongpin, that weight you feel on the end of your bed tonight isn't your blanket. It's something that followed you home because you didn't stop for a snack. The Hungry Gates of August. During the ghost month, which falls in the 7th lunar month, the gates of the underworld open and the hungry ghosts are released. The rules become even stricter. Huwag kang lalangoy sa ilog Pasig or even in hotel pools nearby. It is said that the spirits of those who drowned are looking for replacements to take their place in the cold water so they can finally move on. Do not start a new business or sign contracts because the chaotic energy of the wandering dead will doom the venture. Even the real estate market in Binondo slows down every August and September. The dead see your new beginning and they want to claim a piece of it for themselves. Condominiums of the Dead. The tragedy at Carvajal Street in 2024 is a reminder of what happens when we ignore the warnings. The building sat in a district where Spanish cannons once fired directly at Chinese residents. It is a place where graves have been paved over and fire exits have been blocked by the greed of the living. The ghosts of Binondo are not just figures in white gowns. They are the embodiment of systemic neglect. They are the 11 people trapped behind iron grills because of building code violations. They are the soldiers whose bones were uncovered in the Parian in 1981, causing workers to flee in terror. Ang lupa rito ay hindi mapakali because we keep building on top of pain without acknowledging it. As urban development continues, as we tear down old buildings to build high-rise condominiums, we are displacing the spirits that have called these streets home for centuries. We are building condominiums of the dead. When the dead are forgotten, they become hungry. And a hungry ghost will find a way to be fed, whether through a shared ride in a Grab car or a cold hand grabbing your throat in the dark of a museum. They are not looking for peace. They are looking to be remembered. The next time you walk through the streets of Binondo, listen to the pavement. Remember that the stones beneath your feet might have once held the name of someone who was never given a proper burial. Say, tabi-tabi po, when you turn a dark corner. And if you feel the air get heavy, do not look in the mirror of your phone. Just keep walking, and whatever you do not go straight home. There are 11 souls from Carvajal Street who are still looking for a way out of the smoke, and they might just follow the sound of your footsteps. At doon nagtatapos ang ating kwento para sa gabing ito sa Radyo Anino. Salamat sa pakikinig mga kaibigan. Whether you're stuck in traffic, working the night shift, or just craving a taste of home from abroad. Kung may kwento kang gustong ibahagi, i-comment below o i-send sa amin. Huwag kalimutang mag-like, subscribe, at share para sa higit pang lihim na bumubulong sa dilim. Hanggang sa susunod na gabi, stay safe out there. Good night.